friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys my 3 favorite kitchen gadgets as well as recipes to go along with them. Like I mentioned in my kitchen tour video, I'm not a big fan of a lot of kitchen gadgets, especially ones with only one usage, because it takes up a lot of counter space and I'd rather have space instead. So these are my 3 holy grails that I cannot live without, and I use them on a weekly basis. The first tool that I want to talk about today is my Datong rice cooker. This is my favorite kitchen gadgets of all time, and I cannot live without it. It is a rice cooker slash steamer, and the reason why I love it is you can make rice a lot faster in a steamer versus a traditional rice cooker. It takes less than 20 minutes to make rice. You can also make dessert, you can make soup, you can make meat, you can literally make everything in the Datong rice cooker. If you know a Taiwanese household, you'll know that this is definitely a holy grail in all of our house. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys a really easy sesame and chicken rice recipe that is a household favorite that you're going to love. So we got some boneless chicken thigh here. I like the ones that have the skin on just because the skin can provide a lot of flavor. The oil is amazing when it's coated around the rice. So I got some boneless chicken thigh with the skin on. We're gonna marinate the chicken today with some soy sauce, white pepper, as well as sesame oil. So we're gonna be adding in some soy sauce, some white pepper, and be careful, this is gonna make you sneeze, as well as a generous amount of sesame oil. We're gonna mix everything up together and we're gonna set it aside for 10 minutes. The next thing we're gonna do is to wash our rice, and this is super important. I know some people don't wash their rice, but this is one of a crucial step to make sure that your rice is not starchy and overly sticky. So we're making around 3 cups of rice today. In a large pan, we're just gonna add in a little bit of oil. And once the pan is hot, we're gonna add in the chicken. We're gonna pan fry the chicken for around 5 to 6 minutes until it becomes brown. We also want the chicken skin to become a little bit crispy. We want to render out all the fat from the chicken skin. That way, when we add in the rice is gonna be coated. Every grain of rice is gonna have a little bit of chicken oil on top. This dish is perfect during the winter because sesame oil really helps warms you up. It is called Ma You Ji Fan in Taiwan. The kitchen smells super good right now. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to enjoy this. Next, we're gonna add in the rice that we have drained, and we want all the rice to be coated in the chicken oil as well as the seasoning. So we're just gonna gently mix everything together. This is a really good weeknight dinner just because you're gonna have some vegetables, some protein, carbs, everything in one meal. It used to be one of my go-tos when I was a student, just because all you have to do is mix everything together, you put it in the rice cooker, and it's done. Add the chicken and the rice back into the pot from earlier, and then we're gonna prepare the mushroom as well as the ginger sesame sauce. So in the same pan, we're gonna be basically flavoring the ginger sesame oil, and then I'm using shimiji mushroom as well as shiitake mushrooms today. You can use any mushroom of your choice, but these are kind of my favorites. In the same pan, we're gonna add in some oil, and we're also gonna be adding in some sesame oil. Sesame oil burns really fast, so I don't recommend having the heat too high. Maybe just around medium will be good. And then we're gonna be adding in some thin slices of ginger, and this is really gonna help season the oil. We're gonna let the ginger sizzle in the oil for 1 to 2 minutes, and this is really gonna help season the oil. Next, we're gonna add in the shimiji mushroom and also the shiitake mushrooms. And we're just gonna saute everything together for another 1 to 2 minutes or until the mushrooms become soft. We want the mushroom to soak up all of that ginger sesame oil goodness. You can also use dehydrated shiitake mushrooms too, or you can use oyster mushrooms and cut it into smaller pieces. Anything of your choice. Mushrooms and chicken and sesame oil is honestly like the perfect combo that can't go wrong. Once the mushroom soaks up all the sauce, we're just gonna remove the ginger slices before we add it back into the rice. We're gonna add the mushroom into the rice and chicken. We're just gonna mix everything together. We're gonna drizzle on a little bit more soy sauce. Mix together. So it's up to you. I'm using some chicken stock today, but you can also use vegetable stock, mushroom stock, or even water. So we're just gonna add it in. Want to make sure that all the chicken and rice and mushroom is soaked in the chicken stock. Move everything around a little bit. We're gonna add the whole rice into the Datong cooker now, and we're gonna steam for 20 minutes. So after 20 minutes, whew, the chicken is cooked, the mushroom is super soft, the rice is super juicy, soaked up all of the goodness. To finish off, we're just gonna drizzle a little bit more sesame oil on top. We're gonna mix everything together. This is a really easy weeknight dinner that I make all of the time. It's guaranteed delicious every time. You can swap out the meat if you don't want chicken. You can also do different meats as well. And then you can also do different vegetables in here. Just make sure you add enough chicken stock to make sure everything is fully cooked. This is honestly a perfect dinner in the winter time. Look how good this looks. Oh my goodness. The perfect bite. You guys need to give this a try. So the next kitchen tool that I love is my Vitamix. So I know this is an expensive blender, and to be honest, I was quite skeptical in the beginning too, but this can do everything. Other than making smoothies, it can make shaved ice, so it can blend up some ice, it can make soup, it can make congee, and on top of that, what I use it the most for is to make my homemade chili oil that I love and I use every single day. So my favorite part about making homemade chili oil at home is that you can adjust the spices based on what you like. So I like mine a little bit more numbing. So I like to add more Sichuan peppercorn, and I also like it really garlicky, so I'm adding 20 cloves of garlic. However, if you like it more spicy, less garlicky, you can adjust it to whatever you like. These can last in the fridge up to 3 months, so it's super convenient. So the first thing we're gonna do is toast all the spices, and I'm gonna have the full recipe linked down below, so you guys can go check out to see what I like to use in my homemade chili oil. But we got some whole red chili, some red chili flakes, as well as Sichuan peppercorn. We're gonna toast the spices for 3 to 4 minutes, so that way it becomes more fragrant. So warning, it can smell a little bit spicy in here, so maybe turn on the fan or open the window. However, this step is really gonna help you give a nice kick to your chili oil. You want to toast it for 2 to 3 minutes. That way all the smell of these spices can come out. We're going to add the spices into a large bowl or cup. So I got 20 cloves of garlic here, and we're just going to roughly chop it up just because we're going to blend it anyways later. However, we're going to chop it up so that way when we're adding in the oil, it can fragrant all the pieces. So we're just going to roughly chop it up. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna add all the chopped garlic on top of the spices from earlier. You want the garlic to be on the top so that way when the oil goes in, it can really help fragrant all the garlic. To give it the extra kick and also the red color, we're gonna be adding some Korean red chili flakes on top. So this is really gonna help add in a lot of the spice flavor. So add as much as you can handle. I like it really spicy, so I like to add a lot. So I am using grapeseed oil today, but you can use any oil of your choice. I don't really recommend olive oil just because when you put it in the fridge, it will become a little bit harder. However, I do recommend any oil that doesn't have a really strong flavor. My go-to is always grapeseed. We're gonna add the oil into a pot because we're gonna heat it up. And we're gonna be adding in bay leaf as well as 5-star into the oil. This is really gonna help season the oil. This step is optional if you don't have it in place, but I do like adding it in. Once the oil's hot, we're just gonna pour everything in. We're gonna mix everything together, and then we're just gonna set this aside for 30 minutes for it to cool down before we start blending. Once the oil has cooled down, we're gonna add everything into the blender, and we're gonna blend for around 1 to 2 minutes until it becomes smooth. This chili oil honestly tastes good with everything, and this can last in the fridge up to 3 months. So I love how the Vitamix is so convenient. You can use it to make smoothie, but you can also make stuff like chili oil. Let me know in the comments below what is your favorite way to use your Vitamix, and let me know if you like the Vitamix, if you've ever tried it before. The third kitchen gadget that I love is my Instant Pot / air fryer duo, and I know it technically counts as 2 kitchen gadgets. However, I recommend getting it as a dual function, so that way you're saving space, you're saving money, and honestly, you don't really ever air fry and pressure cook at the same time. So I just like it like this better. So there's so many different things that you can use for a pressure cooker and an air fryer. I like to think of my air fryer kind of as a mini oven, so I like to use it to make chicken, potato. I have a recipe to make souffle in it. Super, super convenient. In terms of when it comes to the pressure cooker, This is honestly life-saving. It saves me so much time. I have Taiwanese braised pork recipe. I have a instant pot pho. I have a pressure cooker Taiwanese beef noodle soup. It saves a lot of time. But today, for the pressure cooker side, I'm gonna show you guys how to make a really yummy red bean soup dessert. And for the air fryer, I'm gonna make my most famous recipe ever, which is my air fryer soy sauce chicken. So for the red bean soup, all you need is a red bean, water, and sugar, and that's it. It's super easy. You can make it in bulk and freeze it. It is really good for you. It's such a perfect summer and winter dessert. Depending on how sweet you like it, you can adjust it for the sweetness. If you want it to be healthy, you can also use monk sugar, which is a sugar alternative instead. So we're gonna add in some red beans in the pot. We're gonna wash a red bean in the sink, and if we didn't have a pressure cooker, this process would take at least 5 hours. You would have to wash it, soak it, cook it, just takes a very long time. I find the pressure cook version of red bean soup tastes even better than cooking it on a traditional stove, and it really only takes 20 minutes. So we're just gonna wash it first. Next, we're gonna be adding in water, and we're gonna be adding in the sugar after we are done cooking. For red bean soup, make sure to always add in sugar after versus before. You want the red bean to be mushy and soft, and then you add in the sugar. Next, we're just gonna add it back into our pressure cooker, and we're gonna be putting on the pressure cooker top handle instead. And we're gonna pressure cook this for 25 minutes, and then we're gonna let it naturally release. And after that, you got a delicious red bean soup ready for you. You can enjoy the red bean soup on its own, or you can have it with some mochi balls / tangyuan. I have some in my freezer, and I'll link the recipe down below on how to make these little cute tangyuans. But anyways, I'm gonna cook these up and serve it with it. And finally, the red bean soup. Depending on how sweet you like it, this is when you want to add in the sugar. Mix everything together. Red bean soup is one of my favorite childhood dessert. It is something that my mom and my grandma used to make for me all the time. I never realized how easy it is to make, especially now that we have a pressure cooker. It really doesn't take long at all, and you can always make it in bulk, which is the best part. You can have it hot or cold, but I like having it hot with some fresh mochi balls on top. At last, we have dessert, and with this pressure cooker, we saved 4 hours of time, which is so worth it. The next thing we're gonna be making is my most famous and most well-known recipe is my air fryer soy sauce chicken. And this recipe is so good. I have it at least once a week. It is amazing, super easy to make, and everyone is going to love it. So I have some boneless chicken thigh with the skin on. Having the skin on is super important just because the air fryer will help the chicken skin become nice and crispy. Of course, you can have it not boneless too, but you would have to cook it a little bit longer. So the ingredients are really simple. We're gonna add in some soy sauce first, some dark soy sauce, and the dark soy sauce helps add color without adding overly too much saltiness. And some dark soy sauce, adding in some 5-spice powder. We're also gonna be adding in minced garlic. And then finally, we're gonna be adding in some sugar or honey, depending on what you like. And we're just gonna marinate everything, and we're gonna set it aside for 30 minutes. You can also do this the night before if you want to help you save some time, but I recommend letting it marinate for at least 30 minutes so all the flavor can get in. We're gonna spray a little bit of cooking oil into the air fryer tray. And then after 30 minutes, we're just gonna add the chicken into the air fryer, skin side facing up. And we're gonna air fry the chicken at 380 for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, this recipe is one of my most popular recipes for a reason. It is the perfect dinner, super easy, and it honestly requires really simple ingredients. You can enjoy the chicken with rice, with noodle, better than any restaurant style soy sauce chicken, ready in less than 30 minutes. This smells so good right now. I'm gonna do a quick taste test. The skin is still nice and crispy, and the chicken is super juicy. To be honest, this is the recipe that made me fall in love with my air fryer. It is so easy, and you can't really get this in the oven. It's so good. Anyways, that wraps up my top 3 favorite kitchen gadgets that I cannot live without. Let me know in the comments down below what are your holy grail items and if you like any of these recipes and if you give them a try. I hope you guys liked today's video and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!